Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ridertown Radio, episode 31. My gosh, we've been doing it this long. Anyway, what, no response? Jeez.
I mean, that's not our joke to make.
I know.
Not
Anyway,
that.
anyway, as I've been trying to say, today we'll be looking at Ghost 46, Zyuogher 27, Dino Super Charge 10, Orb 8, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And as you can tell, it's just me and Noble here, as usual.
And Orb.
Yeah, I said Orb 8.
I thought you said or 8. I thought you were getting confused for a second. Like, Dino Charge episode 10 or 8.
Yes, we're going backwards. We talked about 9 last time. We're going to go back to 8 because we forgot about that, apparently. Yeah, shall we just go on and get started with our nonsense?
You mean the greatness that is Kamen Rider Jesus Christ and already?
Indeed, yes. Ghost! And our episode starts with, despite everybody panicking about Takaru now being invisible, they're still doing what they need to do, which is actually pretty smart.
Yep. It's like, oh man, so-and-so just vanished out of nowhere. Well, let's keep doing it, what we were doing. I mean, we still have 2 other riders.
Indeed, yep.
I mean, it's not like their powers are completely useless. Oh.
Well, Alan's kind of is at this point. Makoto's
Yeah.
is still in question, given how weird it is. Considering we had a...
That's a triple-edged sword that you're getting stabbed with that one.
Well, I'm saying it because you have the thing later on in the episode where Makoto is being led around by the icon. It like flares up, and you can see Takaru fighting with the Ganmizers later on in the
Yeah, because
episode.
he's connected with the Ganmizers, because that's what the Deep Spectre icon was supposed to do.
I know, it's so weird what that thing is and just how it behaves and all that malarkey.
I wonder what Deep Spectre would look like on Ghost.
I don't know.
Like, I get that the color scheme would stay the same, but would the helmet change? Like the face?
I don't know. Good question.
That'd be cool. Like, what would a Deep Spectre ghost look, or a Deep Ghost look like?
That would be interesting, yeah. And speaking of Ganmizers, it appears that they have just decided to finally go full-on rogue, including giving their weird Makoto combo clone thing proper clothing now.
Yeah, it's like, I got a jacket. I'm a regular man. I'm a real boy.
Well, now it's more of a case of he's just wearing the actual Makoto clothes.
Yeah.
Just to make it.
It's gonna get even weirder for Wardrobe.
Of course, I love how their plan is just have this other Makoto go and like connect with all their friends and stuff, and yet as soon as he walks in, Cannon and Alan are like, "Is that you?"
Right, they were both like, nah, that's not you.
And the funny thing of it is, like, you would expect Alan to kind of catch on to that, because, you know, he is or was or whatever you want to consider those icon
He
forms.
was a person from the Ganma world.
And of course
Actually,
now...
all those people are Ganma. There's, for some reason, some of them are more monstrous than the others.
Yeah, but you'd expect Alan, of all people, he would detect that kind of thing, but to see Cannon, like, notice it is like, that's actually a nice detail.
It's her brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's a nice detail that she would have actually caught that, because, you know, he is her brother, so... And then, of course, Onari is just an idiot and doesn't think of it.
Well, yeah, because it's Onari. He already had his badass episode, and he wasn't even being the badass in it.
Yep.
But it's like, what do you mean? This is obviously Makoto. I mean, look, he's got the jacket, he's got the hair, he's got the moderately douchebaggy attitude. Of course it's him. Walks
Yeah.
out, 5 seconds later, he walks back in. Hey, Makoto, you got done practicing real quick. What do you mean? He's the imposter. No, you guys are just idiots.
Well, Onari's just an idiot.
Yeah.
And
It's Onari.
yeah. And before that, we also had a scene where the two Freys finally showed themselves to Takaru, and are
Again, and
just
he's like,
well, no,
"You two."
I think this is the first time he's actually seen them.
Well, yeah, but he like I'm going off of what we were talking about last week because he does mention that technically. He goes, "You two, what are you doing here?"
yeah, so like he obviously recognizes them, but this is the first time in the show proper that they've
Yeah,
shown
and yeah,
themselves.
in show proper, and they're just like, "Tenkuji Takaru is key," and then just fuck off.
And then they fuse together and then fuck off.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, what? What is going on? I don't understand
I
this.
feel like this also is for some reason having to connect to the summer movie.
Probably
I
there's
feel like all of this is just connecting to the summer movie.
well, considering some preview stuff I've seen, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Eh.
Uh, but yeah, and so a bunch of this episode involves visiting past characters who were possessed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Actually, no, what's the old guy possessed by Edison?
No, he was air quote he was air quote possessed by the Tesla Ganma.
Oh, that's true, yeah, and then just like driven to that high point. But yeah, you had Yuki, who was Houdini, and then the guy who was possessed by Ryoma as well. It's like they all come
Yeah,
back and then
that was
get taken.
cool. I wish they resolved the I don't know the correct word for this. I should really know this. Did really well in English in school. The problem. They should have had a different way to solve like a different solution to the problem than just let me beat the shit out of these Ganmeisers. It would be cool if like the three icons that more or less air quote helped these people came out of Takuru's bumfuck bag of everything and just like possessed the people and launched the Ganmeisers out.
That would be cool, yeah. And I wonder if they'll do that maybe next episode, considering that that whole plot line hasn't been fixed yet.
Yeah, considering the let's turn into the icon driver G powwow is happening again.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
And we also had a scene of Musashi fighting Takaru inside of the icon, presumably.
Yeah, it's like, hi, I'm Musashi. You don't look like a red jacket with red eyes. What do you mean, Takaru? We've met before. You know, Kamen Rider Ghost, summer movie because I don't remember its name. Out in theaters now. Wink. Now let's fight with your comically ridiculous looking swords and my super awesome katanas.
Also played by the actor who played the Scorpion.
Orphanak.
Yeah, Orphanok. Frickin' can't get the words out of my mouth. Sheesh. So there's that, and then that was actually a pretty cool fight scene. And he's like,
Yeah, it was a nice fight, seeing as it was very one-sided, really.
"Of course it's one-sided. You have an actual Master Swordsman versus Takaru."
Yeah, you know, it's the Master Swordsman versus the main character. Of course, the Master Swordsman's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, Takaru was gonna totally die if it wasn't for that stereotypical ninja movie catch the sword with both hands trick.
That totally would not cut your hand at all. I mean, I suppose you could pull that off with a katana because it is a one-sided blade, but still.
Yeah, it's all about not catching the blade sideways, more or less.
Well, I think it's more of like you catch the sides of the blades and then just make sure that the actual blade part isn't hitting your hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
or else you won't be using that belt anymore. Just hooking in the thumb and pulling back and pushing forward.
Also, I found it rather interesting that we had one of the Ganmeisers at one point mentions that Takaru's in Data form. That's why no one else can see him except for when he's transformed.
Yeah, that was weird.
But then after Musashi had his moment with Takaru, and Takaru basically figures out how to sort out all the voices in his head, he's suddenly back to normal and just fine.
And then 5 seconds later, they're back.
Yep. It's so weird.
Another thing that was really nice but was kind of weird was we got to see 3 more people in that we haven't seen for a while this episode.
Yeah, we had during Adele's little thing where he basically
During,
turned everyone into himself. So basically, the end of time, as we
yeah,
said last time. Yeah, you see Javert, QB, and I don't remember if the Beethoven Gamma or
Mozart.
Mozart Gamma got a name, but
Just Mozart Gamma, really.
yeah. So we see the three of them hanging around, and all like, "What is going on? Why is everyone like
Yeah, it's
this?"
QB and the Mozart Gamma are sitting by the pier, and they look over, and it's just more or less Adele in his perfect "I'm cosplaying Misao from Zyuogher" just sitting there with a fishing pole.
or
And
he, or
and
he
then
could also be cosplaying the Gold Ranger from
yeah,
Shinkenger because he did
Shinkenger.
that a lot.
Yeah. And then Javert's just like walked around like, that's weird. Why do all these guys look like my boss?
And then of course we had another scene of Igor having a half transformation, and it's like, "Please stop this!" And then eventually, I think it finally just takes
Yeah, it
hold.
completely takes over. You know what I kind of want to happen, but I know it would never happen, seeing as we're only like 3 episodes away from the end of the series.
What?
Javert become a writer.
That would be interesting. At the very least, I'd like to see him like take on his enforcer Ganma form again and fight with the others, if nothing else.
That and I want to see what more or less what Mozart and QB's human forms would look like.
That would be interesting to see
Or
that.
are they literally monsters and they don't have a human form, unlike everyone else in the Ganma world?
I don't know. That would be curious to see what that would look
Because
like.
it would be nice, like, after everything's settled, Takaru and them are just sitting in, like, the temple, and then, like, two people walk up, like, Takaru? Who are you? Oh, it's, Mozart and QB. Oh, okay.
Watch them pull some bullshit at the last episode where Takaru does something stupid and releases some kind of weird energy that turns all the any Ganma that are on Earth into humans.
I mean, knowing how most shows we watch end, that's very, very, very likely.
Either that or they're going to end up dead. I don't know which. We'll find out.
Or maybe somehow with Takaru's perfect "I am the second coming of Jesus" ass is gonna somehow purify the Ghana world so they can live there in peace and harmony.
Maybe. Who freaking knows at this point? Oh yeah, and we had we got to see Akari and what's his face, frickin' Urisen working on the portal
Work on
machine.
science.
Yes, working on science. Of course, I love one of Urisen's lines. Yeah, you're a real slave, or I mean, ghost driver.
Yeah, I was like, you know, that's a good pun, but not when you're in Endgame.
Well, what else is Urisen good for? He's literally good for nothing else other than making jokes and being comic relief. Essentially, at this point.
I mean, we don't even know what he is. He doesn't even know. It doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah, more than likely. So anyway, yep, we are
I
definitely
think he
coming up.
even says that he doesn't know what he is.
I don't remember at this point. Probably for the better, considering how bad this show is.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty much that episode. Don't really know what else there is to say about it at this point.
Not much, but before we cross over into Cubes, did you see the trailer for the upcoming series?
Oh, for the X-Aid? Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. Doctor Drama and Video Games. I'm excited.
Kamen Rider, Grey's Anatomy.
That's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be interesting though because we're seeing all the. Are we going to see all the Riders episode 1?
I have a feeling it's going to be similar to Gaim because we've already seen all of them announced, so we're going to see them really early.
Was that what they did with Gaim too?
Kinda. I don't honestly remember because I don't think I was paying attention to like the news at the time when Gaim was coming out. But considering Gaim had a bunch of riders and they've all came out fairly early in the series, I imagine we're going to see something similar with this. I mean, hell, Ghost did this too, where it was like we saw both the main and secondary before the show even came out, and of course,
Yeah, but we saw the secondary like a couple weeks later.
yeah, that's
It
what I
wasn't
mean.
like, here's everybody, enjoy the show.
I have a feeling it's going to be a case of like Gaiman Ghost, where like they're gonna come out and they're gonna be like in the really early episodes, so we won't have to wait too long for seeing all the other characters.
Yeah. I'm mad, though.
Why?
I was listening to another show, and the way that the gimmick figures might work is gonna piss me off.
Oh,
Because,
unfolding into like the form 2 or whatever, or level 2.
well, no, it's well, more or less, yeah. But the way I heard it is X8 is the only one that comes with the level 1 body,
That's weird.
because all the other riders' level 1 bodies are that white, crappy plastic shell.
That makes sense, I guess.
And the only difference is the giant faceplate on their goddamn backs.
Ah.
So,
That was just so weird, though, watching the level 1 exit running around. It's like, holy crap, that's hilarious.
yeah.
I'm excited for this program.
In the back of my mind, I was like, and this, my friends, is what the midget stormtrooper looks like.
Oh, that's a beautiful image now.
Uh,
Anyway, shall we move on to the cubes?
yeah.
And this episode opens up with Bangray being a real pirate and getting drunk.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he
comes.
comes.
You won because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
And then we have a scene on the Arrow or Sagittarius arc. And just the name finally just came to me.
That's a stupid fucking name. I really hope the end game of this is the arrow gets pulled back and fires into the earth, and then that's the actual ship itself, and just Genis walks out like a fucking badass and starts taking names.
That would be cool. I am.
Because, I mean, your ship is literally shaped like a bow and arrow.
Use it.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be something, because at first I was like, okay, their ship's a bow and arrow, so they're going to shoot like a laser that's going to make them big?
Nope.
Oh, that's not at all what I was expecting. Okay. You do you, Kamen Rider Birth ripoffs?
I have a feeling, if anything, what we may get is like maybe in the final battles, the Zyuoghers end up in space on the Sagittarius arc, and then blow the thing up.
Like an escape pod.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can see that.
That, if anything, is what I'm hoping will happen. Anyway, as I was saying, we have a scene on there where Zald's basically asking Kubar what's up with him and why he's acting weird, and we've actually found out an answer to a question we were asking before, because it turns out Kubar does have a coin slot. It's in his left shoulder.
Ah, okay.
Because like the camera focuses on Kubar from like the left side, and you can see the slot clearly in his shoulder.
Yeah.
So if Zald has one, I have no idea where it is. Best guess, the back of his head.
My guess is he doesn't need one.
I guess we'll find out at some point.
I have a feeling he's not going to make his monster grow. And if he is, it's going to be some stupid thing where all the air quote current, non-current Megazord cubes being used for some reason because plot holes. Everything that's an exact cube is going to like fly into him, and he's going to make like a giant amalgamation of like squares, more or less.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens, to say the least.
Yeah, he's just going to look like someone dumped a Lego bin and it somehow made the form of a person.
Anyway, so this episode's plot is a clone episode.
And crap, can't think of the name of the word.
Clip show.
Clip show, that's it.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, I basically just ran most of this episode on fast forward.
Yep. It's like, oh, it's a clip show.
It's a clip
asking questions.
It's a clip show, game show / clone episode because we have duplicates of Sella and Tusk.
And we got to see Misao Sajak. Or Misao Trebek.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I can't think of any of the really old Family Feud hosts.
I don't know.
It's been a while. Steve Harvey. He's one.
Yeah, isn't he the current one, basically?
Yeah, he's the current one.
Yep. And as it turns out, this whole thing was once again another plan by Bunglei, or as I may start calling him, Bangray, because that's actually a way cooler name.
Yeah.
That's the TV Nihon translation for anyone wondering. Basically, this whole thing was just him trying to mess with Yamato again, because in order, or I should say, because of what he did, he basically made copies out of Tusk and Scylla's memories, and then strapped bombs to all four of them. And the only
Now,
way,
see, my thought would. Now, see, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. My instant thing is, okay, there's bombs on them. Hey, Misao, don't you have that thing where you can tell if a bomb's real or not or whatever? Yeah. Here you go, check these. I'll be your best friend. Okay.
well, the thing is that basically Bangray pretty much just said like those things are going to explode in 30 minutes unless you figure out which ones the imposters are, and then essentially it's like, and once they figure it out, they have to kill the imposters in order to get the bombs off, which means killing their friends, kind of. And of course, what do the rest of the crew do after they figure it out? Who's the imposters? Decide not to kill them because they're just trying to figure out some other way.
Yep. In the back of my mind, my thought would be, well, I know it would be really, really, really fucking dark, but wouldn't the real Zyuoghers more or less be like, hey, we don't want to cause any trouble here. If we blow up, there's still at least 3 more of you. Our cubes listen to you guys anyways. We'll sacrifice ourselves. Then you guys can take care of them, and then you can go stop him. And I'm not even looking at the thing. I'm just talking out loud, more or less. And just be, more or less, air quote, get ready to sacrifice themselves. And then somehow, because of that, they would piss Bungray off, and he'd come down and be like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do.
That would be interesting, but of course instead what we have is we have the actual Zyuoghers trying to figure out what to do to save the clones, even though they know they're clones, and then the clones get all teary-eyed and just decide to sacrifice themselves by forcing the explosive gizmos off.
Yeah, that was kind of depressing.
That's what Bangray does. He makes us feel the feels. I mean, Yamato's mom, hello.
Yeah, she was already dead. That's kicking a down horse.
It's
Now, see,
still sad.
it would be different if, well, do we even know if Yamato's dad's alive?
Nope, and I'm sure we will either never find out or it'll come up later. Who knows?
Or it'll come up within the last, 4 episodes?
Again, who knows? We'll see what happens.
As a reference to another show?
A worse show, yeah.
A worse show that's getting to the overarching original plot from the entire show in the last, 3 episodes.
Yeah, Ghost's plot's not handled very well. But anyway. So yeah, that was a sad ending for the episode.
Yeah, the actual Zyuoghers are like, you know what? I'm pissed. Yeah, so are we. Let's go kick Bungray's ass.
Pretty much, it's just like, alright, let's go kill this son of a bitch. And
in the back of my mind, as they're doing that, I happen to look at the timer, and it's like, okay, Roundabout by Yes would start playing right now, and to be continued.
Pretty much, and
that is the #1 JoJo meme in the world. That's the end credits for season 1.
Nice. And, of course, our preview for next week is going to be, hey, look, the Gokaigers are back. And also Zuo Whale.
Yeah, and the whale zoom in. Yeah, I think so.
But,
we didn't even talk about the, oh my god, big news of the, the Ghost one for the next week thing.
I don't even remember what was so important in the Ghost next week. That's how uninteresting the show's become.
They, air quote, resolve the actual plot that was happening before Takeru even died.
Yay, way too late.
Who kills his dad.
Oh, that's right.
And because of everyone being Adele, we don't know if it was Adele or if it was someone else who happened to be talking through Adele's voice or whatever the hell.
uh, find out
I
next
just think
week.
I don't want it to be Adele because that's just like, well, you're just setting up your main villain to be the main villain of the entire show to piss people off. That would be like saying if the Joker was the guy that killed Batman's parents. Oh, well, this Michael Keaton Batman movie kind of does that.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like they did
Or,
that.
if, well, no, that's Sandman. Never mind, that's a bad one.
Anyway, so
Damn,
that's
I can't. No, that doesn't work either. Fuck.
you're on. We're doing the wrong show for comic stuff.
I know. I'm trying to think of things that would be equal to this, though.
I don't know. I got nothing. Thinking about Ghost kills my brain cells.
At least they keep. At least the puns still come sometimes.
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on to our American entry in this list?
Yeah. Dinosaurs and plot points.
Yes. Dinosaurs and Plot Points, aka Dino Super Charge, where we have our first introduction of the Silver Ranger, kind of, in a hologram form.
Yeah, this episode had three major plot points. Three major plot points. Holy shit, the Silver Ranger's a ranger and he's in space. Holy shit, the Brachiosaurus Zord is in the middle of the water, or in the middle of this lake. How are we gonna do it? And number three, Candle Dude. Candle Dude. Can't think of
Yep. Yep, basically, Silver Ranger sends a message from space and is all like, hey, with the Titano charge thing needs to be reactivated or whatever because my Energem's with me in space, and then they get interrupted by Endorf and, or no, that's not his name, Singe and Fury.
That's what I was trying to think of, Singe. And we find out stuff about Singe.
Yeah, that's later on. And so pretty much most of the episode is just trying to figure out where this thing is, and as it turns out, it's in the middle of the lake where a bunch of the Rangers were already fishing. Because
Yep.
we see them fishing. We also see Coda catching fish barehanded because that's Coda.
Yep. And
And then a funny scene of Chase and Shelby eating worms, thinking it's pasta.
yeah, that was a gross.
It was gross, but it was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And
then
then
we have weird points in the command center because like they send a picture of Coda back to Tyler, and it's like, here's Tyler and Ivan back in the base with Kendall, and oh hey look, here's Prince Philip, and here's Tyler's dad.
because all the Rangers for Titano.
Yep, and it's like, oh hey, there's that guy that ran off in whatever episode it was earlier on. Nice to see you're back. And I'm also just thinking, it's like, this feels like we're missing an episode where these guys actually came back and had some actual fanfare to them because they
Oh
just
no, they
walked.
don't. They literally just show up when they're air quote needed.
Yeah,
More or less, this means like every other week, Prince Philip is like, okay, guys, I need to not be Prince for like the next 7 days. Okay, okay, good. I'll be back after I leave on my private jet to go land in this airport in bumfuck USA.
well, no, it's just weird because it's like they come in and it's just like, Tyler and Ivan just like, pretty much treat us like, oh, they've just been here forever, and it's like, it feels like that there should have been an episode between this one and the last one where they actually came back and everyone's all like really happy to see them and stuff.
Yeah,
Instead
or
of
at
just
least
like, oh, hey, you're back.
Tyler with his dad.
Yeah, that especially. That would have been nice. Like,
But nope, it says, hey guys, glad you guys could make it.
yep,
And then the stock footage monster of the week showed up.
yep, it's the fishing monster, which, yeah, I remember that's what they used for the Brack or Bragigas episode, pretty much. And then we also
Well,
had.
no, it wasn't even a Bragigas episode.
Oh no, you're right. It was something else entirely. I don't
It
remember.
was, they were trying to get the fossils, like how Daigo had the one around his neck.
Oh
So
yeah, it
because
was
that
that
lake and they
one.
were fishing, and the fishing dude was fishing for, I guess, like a part of day boss or something.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't looking for the Zord. He was looking for something else.
Yeah, because they were getting that shit for keeper. Or
But
not
yeah.
keeper, bird.
Oh,
Torin.
yeah, Torin.
Every time after I say a word, it comes to me.
Uh,
Getting it for Torin, because that was when his "Oh my God, he has space AIDS" episodes were going on.
oh yeah, when he was falling apart or whatever. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. But yeah, and then of course there's this other weird side plot because we have to have a ranger focus somehow. Riley's brother Matt, who took them fishing just for fun, although Riley turned it into a competition,
Yeah.
he goes out fishing in the boat, gets blasted by the monster, and then somehow ends up inside the Brachio Zord.
Yep. I mean, hell, it's better than what Kyoryuger did. Hey, boss, where's our base? Oh, I can't tell you. By the
It,
way, this is the head of the Megazord. Oh,
yeah, that was a weird twister, but at least it wasn't buried underneath the museum.
God, could you imagine that? Just be like, we need to get this Zord, but we can't get the Zord because it would totally mess up the museum. We could say the museum's under construction. I don't have that authority.
It'd be under a lot of reconstruction after busting out a Titanozord.
Yeah, after busting out fucking Gigant, after busting out mediocre-sized dinosaur. Still pisses me off that he's shorter than Plezuo when combined with the Megazord.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
Like going by
mess.
the height of the face itself and not the giant plumage of head that they give to him.
Yeah, that's kind of silly. But anyway, so they figure out, oh hey, this thing's under the lake, and of course the monsters figure it out too, because apparently Sins just knew that.
Yeah, that was weird.
And
And Keeper does some weird voodoo shit and gets all the water out.
no, you know what he was doing? He was using they used the stock footage of those fossils you were talking about, because that's what those lights were.
Oh, yeah!
And there was like brief flashes where you could see all the symbols from the other dinosaurs.
That's right, because then they pull out more stock footage when they go to activate them, because it's like, Rangers, you need to use all these Dino Chargers.
Well,
Okay.
well, I think it was like,
click, throw.
well, I think it was like, here's the stock footage of these things blowing the water off the Zord, and then here's the stock footage of it firing into like where all the extra heads are on this thing just to light them up, and then it's like, all right, now you throw all the chargers because of course Kendall whips together a Titano charger.
Yeah.
And then we get Zord activated, and everybody jumps in the cockpit, and
That's for
monster.
Green because it's related to him, and oh my god, for some reason, my brother can't know I'm the Green Power Ranger, even though he was technically in that stock footage.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
Like, you only see the hands, but it's like red, blue, black. That's obviously supposed to be green and pink.
Yeah, and then so of course we have the giant monster fight. Titano crushes everything, and
Yeah,
new
Titano's
Zord.
badass with his giant staff battle axe thing that he calls an axe, even though it's like a giant weapon of hell.
Yep. And then at the end of the episode, we have the scene where Hackle basically.
Heckle's like, "Hey, Singe, how do you know the Megazord was down there?" I guessed. Right. Tell
Yeah.
me the real answer. I'm a bad guy. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he runs away and leaves on his spaceship, which is the Epcot ball.
Pretty much. Yep. And then.
Like, I looked at that and I was like, I was just there like a year ago.
Yep, into his Epcot ball and back into space, which makes me beg the question of, is he going to come back with his boss, which may or may not be Chaos?
Maybe. Or is he, for some stupid reason, knowing that the silver thing is there because he has the Silver Ranger captured?
I don't know. It's just kind of weird, and then of course we have the mystery still of where the Silver Ranger is, and
Besides the fact that we know he's in space.
Yeah, which of course also begs the question: Keeper put the energems into dinosaurs, and then
On Earth.
yeah, on Earth, and then end of the world.
Accidentally glassed the entire planet. Good job.
Yeah, it's like gives it to dinosaurs on Earth, and then end of the world because of Sledge's meteorite collection, and then I guess somehow the holder of the silver energem came to Earth, found it, and then took it back into space or something. Or
Yeah, seeing as
that's
we
weird.
don't officially know who he is in the show, I'm not going to say my theory, even though we know who he is.
Yeah, it's just weird, like what that's all about.
Well, I mean, we know it's Torin. It's
Well, yeah,
American Torin.
I know that, but I'm saying like just thinking about like he came to Earth, found the gem, and then I guess left again or something. Like,
He
what was he
came
even
to
doing
Earth
here?
because he was looking for Keeper. Couldn't find Keeper, but he found the Silver Energem, and because of his bonds of looking for Keeper, the Energem bonded to his body, and he decided the best place to keep the Energem safe since Fury's on Earth is in space.
I don't know. Hopefully we'll, or I should say, hopefully soon will get an answer to that.
Yeah. I want to see like a flashback where like it's the Silver Ranger constantly revisiting Earth looking for like his like keeper and everyone, and he just walks past a glacier where Code is just in there frozen holding the energem, and he's just like, huh,
That would be
and then he
funny.
just keeps walking.
That would be funny. I would love to see
Just like
that.
looks over, huh.
That would be funny. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I still would like to know where the guns came from.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to learn where these how these energems work, or just what planet they come from.
Well, because like at first it's like, well, Kendall built them. Then how did Tyler and Shelby get guns when they were in the middle of the bumfuck forest? And why were they fossilized then?
Yeah, they don't not really explain that very well yet.
Yeah, oh well.
Yeah, oh well. But yeah, that was this episode. It was actually pretty good for the most part. I think literally
Yeah,
the only kind of weird hole in the episode is how did Matt end up in the Titano charge? Unless it just fell in its mouth or something. But even then, it be flooded on the
I
inside.
think
I don't know.
maybe he was distressed or something, and because like the way the Titanosaur is laying, he was laying on its side.
Yeah,
There was no way he could have landed in the thing's mouth properly. So maybe it was, oh, the Zord noticed that this person's in distress and saved him because there's other energems nearby.
I don't know. There's a
Or
lot.
maybe there's just like a secret like jail inside there where there's like millions of people that happen to fall into the water and get taken by this thing, which would be hilarious on one point but really creepy on another.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird that it did that, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Dino Charge, and now let's move on to our Land of Giants.
Our Land of Giants and feels filled episodes.
Yep, Orb episode 8, where we find out that this fish shop owner is keeping a pair of merman monsters as, I don't know. They're just, it's just,
As almost like a family kind of.
yeah, he's just kind of, looking after them. It's like there's
Yeah.
this one,
I
there's
also
this
like the
adult, and
intro of
there's a
the
kid.
episode is a rhyme. It's the Urban Merman.
Yep.
And
And I think I've also seen these suits used in an episode of Ginga or Ginga S. I know I've seen them before. They look
I think I
familiar.
saw a suit similar to this in the original.
Maybe it's from the original. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen a suit similar to this. I don't know if it's the exact. Let me go check my thing if I can even find out where my. Okay, that's pretty low. Never mind. I will wait.
It's not really that big of a deal, but anyway.
Under 20 DVDs.
But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much where the plot of this episode is, involving these mermen. But before we get fully into that, we have a scene of Naomi having a very weird dream where, like, she's in a burning building, and then she's, like, looking up at Juggler, and then you hear Guy's voice, and suddenly she's looking up at him, and then they go flying or something.
Yeah, it's like prepare for flight, and it's like
Through the
okay,
ceiling!
this is a cool scene, but that was the stupidest thing you could have told her.
Yep.
Like, a better thing would have been brace yourself. Or,
Maybe.
we're not flying, we're falling with style.
Okay, let's be honest. That last one's just ripping off Disney. They would not.
Well, yeah, that's literally from Toy Story.
But yeah, that was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it was like really weird. It's like, oh, it's Juggler. Oh god, that guy gives me really bad rapey vibes. Don't save me, don't save me. My name's Geiger, and take me with you anywhere, please.
Yep. And then the other plot of this episode is apparently there's a monster eating all the fish.
A seal narwhal thing.
Yeah, I love this monster. It's a narwhal with a drill horn. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, being in that suit has to be A, uncomfortable, and B, really awkward.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But yeah,
Because you
before
have to
that,
be A, on all fours, plus you have to figure out a way to work the drill and the mouth.
I'd imagine the drill and mouth, maybe they're like remote controlled
Maybe.
animatronic stuff, and then you just have
Then
the
that's a
person
lot of
moving.
stuff to have in the front of a suit where you have a guy right there with his head basically right in the middle of all those animatronics.
I don't know.
Get all Five Nights at Freddy's up in this bitch.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's just like, well, there was just like interesting scenes like prior to all that going on, where like back in the SSP, where they're talking about like all the monsters and stuff, and some people are, or like I think Jetto is like people on the internet thinking that all the monsters are a sign of the apocalypse or
Yeah,
whatever, and then Guy just makes this comment about monsters don't exactly want to deal with humans either.
right. Or there's there's a good thing I saw on the internet where it's like, well, how would you like people like, man, sharks are so mean they keep attacking people. Well, how would you like it if someone in a speedo walked into your house?
Yeah, basically it's like that because like guys like if you run into people who are more likely to shoot on sight rather than ask questions, wouldn't you be a little cranky or whatever it was, something like
Yeah, it's
that?
like, wouldn't you feel threatened if every time you walked around or someone happened to see you, they were like, kill him.
And then of course just to
Emphasize this.
we see one of the mermens running around, and then they get caught and reported to the VLT. And apparently, this uncle guy is like the only person that works at VLT, or at least the only field agent, because he's the only one we ever see.
Yeah, it's like, well, or no, it's even like this. All the other guys are actually just like out there doing really important things, and they're just like, we got another one of those nut job reports. Okay, send you know who. You mean, yeah, he's got nothing else better to do, and plus his niece will probably be there, so he can yell at her
Yeah, which we had a little bit of that, where like the uncle's
again,
all like,
like every
uncle.
single fucking episode. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but this one it was more like uncle's yelling at her and it's like saying things like, "I told your mom I'd look after you." And it's like she worries too much. It's like, of course she does. It's a parent. It's
Yeah,
natural. And
she's a mother. I mean, hell, the parents worrying about their family has become an upgrade for how many people now?
yeah, pretty much.
Ghost, I think, wasn't that some sort of a plot point for Magi Ranger?
Possibly. I don't remember.
Or
I've
no,
been.
no, no. Wasn't they just got their weird chess piece upgrade from? I don't remember.
Eh.
I never watched Magi Ranger. I just know like family was a really big deal in that show.
Yeah, I haven't seen Magic
Or
Ranger either.
hell, Shinosuke got Type Trideron because he was really depressed and realized his dad was killed by this bad guy and was really pissed about it. And then he
Yeah.
died himself by said bad guy.
Yep. But yeah, so pretty much we have before the narwhal shows up, we have a scene with the SSP crew just like trying to help with one of the or like the little kid monster because apparently
Yeah,
it's
the
not
kid
feeling
monsters are
well.
trying to nurse him back to health or whatever.
And apparently Naomi singing somehow really helps. It's like, is that magic or something? What the heck is that?
In the episode of like the original Ultraman that I was mentioning, they were saying that music would calm the giant fish monster, so they would play music. I think that's supposed to be like a stereotype in Japan or something.
Maybe, but that would explain why you thought you.
And it just so happens the song she was singing is the harmonica song.
Yeah, because guys are like, "Oh, you know that song?" at the end of the episode, and she's like, "Yeah, I've known it
In
for a
the
long
back of my mind, it would be like,
time."
oh yeah, you play it a fucking enough.
It's like that was an interesting little note. But then again, considering the last episode where she literally said she dreamed of a giant of light and it happened to be Orb, not too shocked.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be like a descendant or whatever of that person that totally got fucked over by that Ultra attack.
I would not be shocked actually. So anyway, yeah. So our giant monster attack and actually ate the little kid merman person before Orb
Yeah,
punched the
and I was like,
monster.
because the little kid went back in because the fish owner gave him a toy boat, and I was like, oh, that's totally gonna become a plot point later. 5 minutes later, see, I told you.
Yeah, it's like monster eats the thing, which I love how it's like clapping happily while he's watching it
Yeah,
fall.
because he was like part seal too.
Yeah, and then Orb punches the monster so hard that the kid pops out of the thing's blowhole. Alien anatomy is weird.
That oh, I'd hate to be that monster. God, because like the blowhole's supposed to be like the nose.
Yeah, it's on top of the head, and it's like pop
So
out this water spout.
basically, what just happened was he just threw up out of his nose. That's gotta burn like a motherfucker. I've done that before. That's not a fun thing to have happen. It's horrible.
We're also thinking way too hard about this.
But anyways, Orb bounces between two of his forms and starts kicking ass.
Yeah, but instead of destroying the giant monster, Orb just puts it in a bubble and flies it back to the ocean.
Yeah, because it's not like it's gonna come back.
Yeah, and then later on we see the mermen are left to their own devices out in a river somewhere, and then they vaporize into water.
Yeah, they like disappear into water via some weird water magic bullshit.
I don't know. I call it just fish magic. Who
Yeah.
knows?
It would be cool if it was like the fisherman's like, I'm gonna set up a fish shop out here or something like that.
That would be funny. But yeah, that's pretty much Orb. There's not really much to this episode. I mean, it's a nice episode, but
Yeah, like the only reason we see Juggler this episode was because of that weird dream sequence.
yeah, that was a bizarre one. But who knows? And we'll see what happens next time. Because reading off the title for on Crunchyroll, they think it's something to do with a clone. So we'll see.
Oh joy!
Yeah, and then there's something coming up, I think, in like episode 10, which is going to be really interesting, but we'll
Yeah,
talk
I
about
saw
that.
some images of some really interesting things,
Yeah, I
and
think
I
I
was
sent
right.
that to
That
you.
was a Belial card.
Yep, so, and of course, what's going to happen with that? Well, wait till we actually talk about it.
Yeah, wait till it shows up in the show, because I already know.
Yep, so anyway, that's it for Orb, and that's it for us, because we don't have a topic or anything else to add on to this, so thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week with whatever we end up doing.
Probably the same old, same old.
Yep, pretty much.
Same writer time, same writer channel.
Same Rider Tower.
Yeah.
So, yes,
In
thank
the
you.
same writer town.
Indeed. So, yes, thank you for listening, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Adios.